Madam Toastmaster. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. And I have to find Brent as he sat down. There we go, Brent. Good morning. Brent, Toastmasters teaches us that there are three components to any successful speech: the manner in which you deliver the speech, the organization of that very speech, and then your appeal to the audience. And so we're going to talk about those three factors today. Brent started with his delivery and he scared me a little bit, because as he approached the front, he doesn't realize that the audience is always looking at him, already looking at him. So he had his hand in his pocket. So I'm thinking, uh-oh, we might have somebody who's a little too relaxed to present something that's going to grab my attention. However, when he got up here, not only did he take his hand out of his pocket, but he gave an energy, a boisterousness, and almost a tone of amazement throughout his speech that brought energy to the room for me, and took away that whole first impression that I got right off the bat. Now, Brent used a very loud voice, difficult in this room. I've been told that only theater actors can maintain that throughout their whole speech, because they'll start that way, knowing that the room needs it, and then they will diminish throughout. Brent did not do that. He maintained that loud voice, that energy throughout the entire speech. Now, Brent, you would have drawn me in a little bit more if you gave me some variety in that. Because you were so energetic the whole time, I wanted to relax for a minute. But you just kept me going the whole time. So when you vary it up, you allow me to sit back, relax, and enjoy your message. Then you can bring the energy back up again. So just vary it up a little bit with not only your voice, but your body language as well. You were so enthused about this speech throughout. I did enjoy that. Now, the organization, Brent got my attention right away because he talked about this mysterious man. And he solidified it when he mentioned that he was a slave. Then he used a classic organization, chronological, correct? Started at the beginning of George Washington Carver's life and led us through that life. And he did something that I truly enjoyed here. He used the word perseverance. And he used it consistently throughout. Every time something tried to drag this man down, perseverance got him through. And Brent brought that word back in his close when he appealed to us, perseverance as well. So that was a classic move, and I really enjoyed it. Now, once he told us about his life, he transitioned into a close. Now, here's where I think I could give a little bit of word of recommendation for you. That transition was too abrupt for me. George Washington Carver, his life, I'm inspired, I can't believe this. And then you went right into, because of that, I've got to be that way. And I didn't quite know how to get there. So just leave me there a little bit. Maybe put a parallel to, imagine if you were kidnapped when you were a baby. Imagine if you were rejected by the university because of your race. And I think that would draw me in a little bit more into the appeal. The final appeal of this speech to me was that Brent was here to inspire. He did that. He nailed that right on there. He educated me about a life of somebody I didn't know, and then he went on to inspire. But if you just mix it up a little bit in there, Brent, that's going to be one awesome speech. Madam Toastmaster.
Oh, 1 minute of silence, please, for the judges to mark their ballots. For our next evaluator, Fern Vacca.
fellow Toastmasters, and especially Brent. Thank you so much for an outstanding speech. It challenged me, as I'm sure it challenged all the audience, right? I'll talk about basic facts, your content of your speech, your delivery, but more importantly, the message that you conveyed to the audience. I'll talk about what you did very, very well, and if there are some areas that you could maybe improve for your next opportunity. First of all, the content applied to all of us. We all want to succeed. We all persevere and make the best effort possible. You challenged us at the end. I like that. That gave us a feeling that, yes, we can become successful. You had good introduction. You had a body of your speech, and you also concluded. You brought that around to the beginning. That was excellent. Your delivery, sharp. Made a good presence, and you talked so we all could hear you. I appreciated that. Few suggestions possible. We have a large stage area here. You might plan to utilize more of that area so that you have a little more movement within your speech. Also, you could use a little more natural gestures. They tended to be a little stilted, possibly if you kept your hands down and then used them, bigger gestures would be a help. One thing I suggest is that you have a little slower rate of speed. Your speech was a little fast. One way to do that would be to have more pauses in different places. We use pauses two ways. One is to reflect on what the audience has heard. The second is to anticipate what they're going to say next. So if you use those pauses effectively, the message will be clearer to all. So an outstanding speech. I very much enjoyed hearing the challenge. In summary, projected to the audience more than anything, you gave us that perspective of George Washington Carver, his life, what he accomplished, and it told us that we too, with knowledge, perspective, can accomplish the same thing. So that I liked. And the simple things that we could change would be to a little more movement, easier gestures, and pauses. Thank you so much for challenging me, as I'm sure you challenged the whole audience. Excellent speech. I anticipate another opportunity to hear you. Madam Toastmaster.
May we have a minute of silence, please? Our next evaluator is Kevin Daly. Kevin Daly.
Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and especially Brent. Thank you for sharing with us about George Washington Carver, a man who had such an impact on agricultural practices that are still used today. That's highly relevant, especially since we live in a community that is highly agricultural. Today I will be giving you constructive criticism. I will be telling you about the things that I think you did well and things that I think will take your speech to the next level. I think you did an excellent job being confident. You stood in one place. I liked how you turned your head and looked at members of the audience. I'm going to focus entirely on your delivery today. I think I can add some things that, in my personal opinion, will improve your speech and make it better. One thing I think you need to do to improve your delivery is slow down. In my personal opinion, it seemed like you talked at a very rapid rate. So I think if you slow down the rate of your speech, that it would improve your presentation. Another thing that you did was you talked straight through without any pauses. An excellent speaker, in my personal opinion, has timed pauses that they have in their speech. Another thing that I think would take your speech to the next level, Brent, is if you use a little bit of vocal variety. You seem to have spoken at the same rate of speech. Sometimes you could have talked a little bit softer to bring the audience in. Sometimes you could have spoken a little bit louder. We have such a big stage here also. We have such a big stage, and I noticed that you stood here in one place. You don't have to move a lot, but I think it would have improved things if you maybe just did a little bit of movement from side to side, right? Since we have such a big stage, if you had a smaller stage, I think it would have been okay for you to stand in one place. And I know people like Don Inch would disagree with me, but I think when you have such a big stage, a little bit of movement is good, so you have very good usage of the stage. One thing I really liked about your speech was your call to action. You called us to be lifelong learners and to use what we learned to serve those in community. I think we could all learn from that. All in all, I enjoyed your very relevant speech, since we live in an agricultural community, about George Washington Carver. And I would recommend that you work on your delivery, use the stage a little bit, work on some vocal variety, and slow down your speech and use some pauses. Madam Toastmaster.
Remain silent while the judges complete their ballots. The judges will hold them up to be collected.